Hey everybody, we're so excited. Wow, welcome to Nevada Help Desk, our Monday showcase. I'm so excited. Wow, we have a special guest with us today. And ordinarily, one of our students would read the biography of our guest for today. But let me just tell you, she is a rock star of all rock stars. She comes to us from Verizon. And I'm going to have our students to send me a chat if anyone is prepared to actually read the bio before we bring our guests on the screen. And I actually circulated a little short biographical sketch of our guests for our students and gave them an assignment to research her so that they could come with some questions and come just on fire. You all are used to our students by now. They are so sharp. And I'm so excited about this guest who we're going to bring on today. One of our dear colleagues and friends of Nevada Help Desk who have been so supportive in the time that we have come to know her. And I'm speaking up. I'm getting a comment here from our guest. Hello, Barbara Haynes Warren. Good to see you. And if our students have a chat here, otherwise I am going to go ahead and at least tell you who our guest works for and what her position is. How about that? And I'm waiting, you all can tell I'm stalling here, waiting for one of my students to come forward and actually come forward and say they are going to read the bio that I gave them. So I am waiting. I'm giving them a moment. You have about 10 seconds to come forward so you all can make the adjustment. I see them sending me a text. And in the meantime, this guest that I'm speaking of serves as the Executive Director of Government and Community Affairs for Utah, Nevada, and the Tribal Nations. So I'm going to, without further ado, the young lady who normally does our introductions is not with us today. So hopefully we did justice with introducing our guest for today. And even if we didn't, you all are going to come to just love and appreciate her as we do. And I'm speaking none other than Kaule of Verizon. Hi, Kaule.
How's it going, everyone? I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And you did good. You did good.
Yes, and our students not with us today, but you know what? We teach them to always be ready anyway. Just always have something in the cup and just have a, what is the old saying? To have a ram in the bush, I believe is what the old saying is. So we have a ram in the bush, and our students, they were commenting and texting me in the background trying to look for it, but we don't want to delay the time or belabor the point. So you know what? I just want to give you a warm welcome from Nevada Help Desk and say thank you so much for being so supportive of our organization.
Well, we love working with you and collaborating and being a partner. So thank you for inviting me today.
Now, put your seatbelt on because we're about to hear from some fabulous students. And they're going to first tell you a little bit about themselves, a 30-second elevator pitch, and show you a little bit of what they can do. And then they are going to come and ask you some questions virtually. They had an assignment, and they know I will put them on blast through social media to hold them accountable for the assignment that they were given last week. And I'm excited because I know all of them have done just that. So we're going to start because I see Cameron is ready in the background.
All right, Cameron.
He's got his screen on. He's our radio professional student. I tell you that.
What a setup. I'm loving it.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
So yeah, I'm Cameron Mell. I am the social media manager here at Nevada Help Desk. I have done multiple social media management jobs here at Nevada Help Desk, and I manage Nevada Help Desk's social media in specific. As you can see on my screen, one of the tools that I use for social media management is Airtable, and it's kind of like a fancy Excel sheet specifically for social media management. And since the day I've been doing this back in May when I first started, there is a entry for every single day of the week whenever I post and everything. And as it's gone on, I've gotten better at posting and making better content and everything. And I'm very proud of all this work. And so you can see this all on Nevada Help Desk social media accounts because that's where I've always posted it. And this is what I see in the back end when I'm working on a social media account. You can even see future posts for this coming week and weeks in the future. I also have some certifications, HTML5. I have a few certifications in Microsoft Office Suite. I have a Excel one, a Word one, and this week I'm taking a test for my PowerPoint certification. I am hoping to follow the pathway of IT and get into proper IT work. Right now I go to college at CSN with an IT major. I went to ATech previously and I majored there with IT, and I've gotten some Cisco recognition from that. I'm hoping to get CCNA certifications in the future. And I'm hoping my goal, I like to say, is that by 30, I'm making like a comfortable $100,000 a year as like a system admin or a network engineer. With that, I thoroughly enjoy working here at Nevada Help Desk, and I hope you enjoyed what I've showcased.
I completely loved everything you showcased. This is, first of all, I've never heard of the program that you're using. So I was like, I learned something new.
This program
And
is amazing.
yeah, and everything that you're showing there, it's pretty fascinating to me. In regards, so Duana, did you want me to give some like feedback of things that I caught and I liked? And
You know what? I think it'll be fun because we're live on social media, and it may help our audience. We've never done this live, but I think it'll be fun. And I think because our students are all ready and professional and can receive push-ups, that's what we call
I
it,
love
push-ups.
that.
So anybody that's engaged right now is engaged because they want to learn as well. So let's go for it.
Well, first of all, what really stood out to me is your ability to just open up something, open up this program, show me real time some of the content that you've created, and be able to still keep the flow of conversation going and telling about yourself. I really was impressed by your background and what you've achieved, the certifications that you've received. I know for me personally, so my background has mostly been in sales. I've been in the wireless industry since 1991, right out of college.
Wow.
Practically. I kind of fell into the wireless industry by accident of sorts. And, and I've been in it ever since, but I couldn't do this. I work for one of the largest global telecom companies in the world. And what you showed me is beyond anything that I could possibly do. And I had to learn, like the certifications you have. I have zero of that, so you've already got an edge on me, and I've been in the telecom industry forever. I'm a dinosaur, it seems, in the telecom industry. So bravo to that. Kudos.
Thank you.
And you're going to CSN. I love that. I think it's a smart career choice.
Definitely.
Starting like at a college like CSN, that's really amazing. And the Cisco recognitions you've received, Cisco is a company that is very highly recognized in our field. And as soon as you said, you had recognition from Cisco, boom, I immediately, acknowledged that. And I found that to be very impressive. So, and then you mentioned all the other certifications you're getting. So in my field, if I were on the IT side, I would completely understand everything that you were saying, everything that you were mentioning, and those would be check marks that I would be making. So bravo, well done.
Thank you. I'd like to add, actually, I did forget one recognition, or actually I have two recognitions. This is from Nevada Help Desk. All of my fellow peers also have this first one, which is that we've all went to the FBI Teen Academy over the summer. And we have a certification. I could go run get the paper, but I'm just gonna say here, I'm very proud of getting that from the FBI. And earlier in the beginning of this year, I got congressionally recognized by the Congress and everything for Nevada, and that was also through Nevada Help Desk. And I'm very excited to have both of those to showcase.
That's incredible. Congratulations. Those are quite achievements. Yeah. Hands, round of applause and then some. That's just amazing. Really well done. And I got to tell you, with the social media, you've got a nice radio voice too. I've got to
Thank
say.
you.
You've got a future, definitely. And the way you conveyed everything, so you're so relaxed. You're pro at this.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Any questions?
Did you mention?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to ask Cameron if you mentioned that you host the weekly show. If you want to speak to that.
Yeah. So
yeah, tell me more about it.
We also do have a radio show that we do every Tuesday, I believe. And I have my own specific segment, which is the tech news. So I kind of like recap news for the week, and I'll do like a 3 to 5 minute segment on the news for the week. I like to cover topics like Elon Musk and the stuff that he does with space, because I find that so fascinating. And then other things that are happening with like the research with the vaccine, and just whatever I find interesting that I feel that other people should hear about in the tech world. And then we do this with other student agents that we have here. I don't believe Gabby is on, but she's the one who does all of the editing and everything, and she does great at making the actual show.
That's pretty awesome.
I love doing it. It's fun.
Yeah. My son, one of my sons is, he really enjoys editing too. And, it's helped him. He's finishing college in April, but his editing skills have gotten him a lot of attention.
That's good.
And just self-taught. So yeah, editing is a very tricky, difficult thing, but fun. And when you do it right, it's pretty amazing. Is the attention that it can get, and how you can convey a story using clips that somebody else may put together, and it wouldn't convey it the same way. So there's an art to it.
Yeah, there's really definitely an art behind the editing.
So with some of the latest topics that you've discussed, what's one that's really stood out to you, that just resonated with you, that was new, and you just enjoyed being able to share it on your radio story?
I found this one for this week, and I was going to make it for this week's radio show. I haven't actually recorded this week's episode, or not this week's, but I haven't recorded the episode yet. And the one I found is about this dog on TikTok. The name is Bunny. And basically, they've been following this growth of having buttons that talk. So the dog talks to the owner. And I've been following it on TikTok a little while, but to find enough information and everything to actually turn it into a segment on my news part. It's really interesting watching this growth with the dog, and how it expressed that it had a burr stuck in its paw, or that it wants to go walk on the beach or something. This dog is straight up talking to its owner, and it makes sense what it says. It's so smart, and it understands the time of day, and afternoon comes before morning, and it is really fascinating to watch this dog grow.
And using buttons
yeah, a that was easy button, but it has different words connected to it. So each button has specific singular words, and so then the dog has this big base plate, and it presses all these buttons to create sentences.
That is incredible.
It is really cool to see.
I can't wait to watch it and see how you put that together, because that's actually quite fascinating.
It is. Yeah.
Very cool.
The name of the dog is Bunny, I believe, and I'm pretty sure if you just look up the Bunny the speaking dog, you'll probably find him.
I love it. Bunny the speaking dog. That's awesome. Very cool.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, so as you're pursuing your college career, what are your, you told me what your monetary goals are. So
$100,000.
$6,000 figures. All right. I love it, but, are there companies that you've been looking at, or a specific side of IT that you wanted to get into, or the world is your oyster, as they say.
It really is. With IT, there's so much I can do and everything. I
Mhm.
think right now I'm just looking locally because there's so many like large server farms out here in Las Vegas, from Switch to
Mhm.
like off of Boulder Highway. They're building a new Google server farm, and like it's being built in my backyard, and I'm like, I should just go drop my resume off in their front door and like ask for a job, because there's so many Google is fantastic and everything, and I'd love to go work
Mhm.
there. I
Yeah.
want to work on the physical side and more be hands-on. I really like the hands-on working with the servers and actually being there in person and working on it all. So I don't have anything specific, because then I'd be kind of closing myself off to opportunities, because there's just so much with IT.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Very, very cool.
Thank you.
I was going to add that, of course, Nevada helped us, just for clarity, in case somebody's watching, like, wait a minute, how are they talking about jobs and he's working for a job? It is okay, because that is what we do. And I like to specify that because we actually help find the students jobs as
Mhm.
well. So we're just that, we're that stepping stone. We're that place where most of the students that come to Nevada Help Desk, most of them never worked before at all. So we provide them, you know, a lot of the job interview skills and the resume critiques with some of our colleagues and all of that, so that when they're ready for their next level in their job, and we're like that training ground, whether it's Google or wherever, Cameron, that they are so prepared for that next level. And so we make sure, and our brand is such that if a student comes from Nevada Help Desk, then they're going to come with the elite status, Royal Tech Team, that they have the credentials, the certifications, the FBI training, all of that, and they're ready. So they're getting a good candidate. So I just want to clarify that for our audience, so they're not confused, like, wait a minute, they're talking about another job and he's working for a job? What does that mean? That's a win for us. If Cameron is Google or Verizon or anywhere, that is a win for us. That means that they have been pushed up and they're ready to soar as an eagle to that next level. And that's, we just here to groom them and give them that. So I just wanted to provide that clarity, because it's
Yeah.
not the norm.
I'd like to also add that Nevada Help Desk has thoroughly helped my resume. My resume would be super boring with like the one certification from high school,
Mhm.
and I have so much. Like my resume is full of stuff from all of the work I've done here at Nevada Help Desk.
Yeah, I could see that, and that's what I was thinking, exactly that as well. That you're going to build, you've already built a resume that far surpasses what I think most college students, even working, are able to put together, because you're in a very specific field with Nevada Help Desk, and it's helping you get exposure to so many things and be working on so many things. It's one of the things that I really just have been so blown away by Nevada Help Desk. As soon as I met Dwana and she told me about it, I was just like, this is incredible.
Truly is.
Mhm.
Alrighty, I was gonna say, Cameron, you may want to hang out with us, since Gabby's not here and you're wearing that radio hat right now as we bring on some of the other students. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna bring up,
Sounds
in
good.
fact, I'm gonna let you introduce the next guest, your student, your peer. I don't know if you can see who's in the background, but I know you know who's here from our team's meeting. So if you want to introduce your next guest that is here, and I see his screen that's showcasing, then go for it.
I'll call out Amani. Amani
I
is
knew it.
definitely the one who should go next. He's definitely a fantastic worker, and his video game expertise. Mwah.
I love that.
Hello, my full name is Adedayo Amani Adeoye. I do video game design and web design here at Nevada, or video game design, 3D design, and web design here at Nevada Help Desk. And what I do here is teach kids how to make games, design 3D animations for clients, and then also help in websites. So this right here is Blender, the application that I use for all my 3D assets. All of them are custom made. Like this is just an example of like a kitchen scene that I was working on just for my own portfolio. see if we can get like a material view here. And so what I do for these is that I could design clients' logos, videos, and really anything that they want, I can design because it's an online 3D realm. And with this, I'm also able to create games, which is also something else that I teach as well. Let's see here. And what I do with and what I use that skill for is that on the weekends I teach, I would say, like 12 freshmen, middle school down. So middle school to like freshman high school, how to create games. What I'm showing right now is a example, or should be showing right now, might be coming up, is an example of a game that I am currently teaching them how to make, where you have like a little block, and it goes through like we make the start sign, we make the little block, we code the little block to move, we make the map, and then the little block has to go through this entire field and get to the finish line. And so this is what I teach the kids over the summer, and teaching them like different elements of video game design, like using colors and using simple objects. Like an example would be how most of the track is one color, but then all the obstacles are this like really or like this really big green or really aggressive green color, but then the actual main player is white, so that they never lose the player or where the player is. So those things like that is what I teach the kids over the weekend. And then the last one would be web design, which I do a little bit less here at Nevada Help Desk. But as Cameron also said, everyone here has our HTML certification, so we're more than able to create a website.
That is awesome. So is this, do you teach like, Duan, is it like the students that you showed me the video of from Saturday's call?
That was the one that did the animation or the 3D. That was his class from the Verizon sponsor, Tech Queen of the Institute. Yes, he had the teenagers and I had the little babies. Yes, that's him.
That is awesome. Well, just based on what the little babies who could do way more than I ever could were able to create, if you had an influence in that, Amani, bravo, congratulations on that. They learned very well, and you're influencing them, and they're learning from it. So that is half the battle, is getting their interest and then getting them excited to create something from what you taught them, and take that concept to reality. Well done.
Thank you.
Shout out to Verizon for sponsoring those last 6 weeks. That's a good shameless plug there. And Amani has started his 2 days ago. We're on the new 6-week track as well. So it's continuing. The gift keeps giving.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. I love it. That is.
Ooh. I think we lost Ku'ule for a moment there. Not sure what happened. But when she comes back, we're still live streaming though. So Amani, why don't you show us another one of your projects? That was pretty cool. The whole looks like architectural link or what have you. I'm not sure what that was, but there she is. She's coming back. But show us another one while we're waiting. Okay, there she is. If you want to share your screen.
Yeah, so this is go more in depth about the actual project that I was working on. The design was a very simple one, and it was to redesign my own kitchen. So I made a mock-up of the kitchen that I have here at home, and did some expansions, some places, some changes. I put in like a Lazy Susan in one of the cabinets as well. And so it was just sort of to see how far I could go, and really looking into designing all the 3D models and all the 3D textures, so to make it look as realistic as possible when I fully render it out. I'm almost done with it, and as you can kind of see, everything here is basically done. All I have to do now is render it, and I think I have some renders here available. Let's see if I can show you. And so the renders would be complete images. I have one render of one single scene. I haven't finished rendering all of them, but this is how it looked fully rendered. A very realistic kitchen, I guess. And yeah, that's really about it of what I've been working on the side at least.
That is so awesome. Sorry, I accidentally clicked on the wrong button and exited myself out of this. But what I was going to ask you, and I think that's, with this 3D model stuff, I love to watch HGTV. I love watching those home shows, and they utilize this type of concept when they want to show to their clients everything that they're doing, and being able to show them what could be with these type of renderings. So goodness, what you're creating there, just with that concept alone, there's so many different ways that you can go with it. What's the next project you're working on?
For me, it would be, I'm working on a game. I was starting to work on a game a little bit before the school year started, and then after the school year, we're starting to come into winter break coming up soon, so that's going to give me some extra time. And I'm working to create a new game to shorten up my game design expertise, especially with coding a lot, and just to have more to add to my portfolio, because me personally, I have a lot of content for 3D design, but not too much for game design. So just adding some more things I can put into my portfolio.
Very cool. Very awesome.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Cameron to introduce our next students, his peers. I can tell he's really enjoying this, having fun. So Cameron, if you'll go ahead and introduce our next students.
Alrighty. Let's see. I'm gonna throw in Dylan. Dylan is one of our newer ones, and I like his work. His artistic design is fantastic.
Hi, thanks, Cameron. So my name is Dylan Day.
No problem.
I'm currently 16 years old and a junior at Coral Academy of Science, Las Vegas. And at Nevada Help Desk, I do graphic design, and I'm trying to work up to video editing and video design, stuff like that later on. But right now I'm certified in Adobe Photoshop, and I also work with Adobe Illustrator a lot for my graphic design. And on my screen, I'm going to show some of the work I've done recently. Okay, so I'm sharing my Adobe Illustrator right now on the screen. But anyway, I use this program called Adobe Illustrator a lot. This is basically just Adobe Suite's version of a vector format design tool that you can use for basically any shape, color, circle, stuff like that. And you can make logos, you can make any type of painting, because there's a number of brushes, lines, text, and stuff like that where you can edit logos. And this is one of the logos I've done recently with Nevada Help Desk as a collaboration with 2 other students for a website called painspecialistnevada.com for a local pain specialist clinic located in Nevada. And basically this was just a simple mock-up of their logo, which was supposed to be pretty minimalistic, and it has, as you can see, a P and an S for pain specialist, and then the S resembles the spine for the pain aspect. And we tried to make this relatively simple because it was for a pretty professional clinic and stuff like that. So we wanted to make it look professional and neat. And I'm actually gonna go share a couple more items in my portfolio for other projects at Nevada Help Desk. So this other one here is for the Nevada Community Events, which is actually another collaboration with a student from Nevada Help Desk, who was Layla. And basically this was a website where you can schedule community events throughout Nevada, as the name suggests. And around it, you can see all the different genres of events that you can schedule, such as technology, fun, and education. And using the colors from the web, and I made it almost with a 3-dimensional Nevada and then Las Vegas with the star over it. Process as I go through making some of the logos that I do. The for the paint specialist in Nevada. So as you can see here, this is actually how I started out making that logo. It was way different from what it was at the end, but I usually, when I make a logo, I make several different drafts of it using different colors and the colors that the client wants, and then I kind of just based off of that. And actually for this client, they didn't give me a reference for anything, so this all just kind of came up from different designs that I searched up online. It's done at Nevada Help Desk so far, doing visual design and stuff like that, but I am interested in going into video editing and maybe getting a certification in either Adobe Premiere or Adobe After Effects.
That's so awesome. And by the way, I like the transition, the end result where you landed with the logo, and how you tied in the spine and the you know, the name of the doctor's office. And I thought it was just a great play on creating a very professional looking logo, but tying to that field of medicine. Well done on that. And I got my degree actually in advertising, but so I was like, wow, this is pretty fascinating what you created there.
Yeah, thank you. And sorry, by the way, if I was buffering earlier during the live.
Oh, no worries.
Okay.
Welcome
yeah, thank
to
you.
Working from home, right?
But yeah, whenever I make a logo, I try to think of what that field is and how it connects to a logo, and how that type of field has certain types of designs. For example, like the medical field has very simplistic designs usually, or designs that relate to that type of medical discipline, such as orthopedic surgery or pain specialists have a spine in that logo. So kind of just based it off of other logos that I've seen, and then I made my adjustments from there.
Great job catching that.
Cameron?
Oh, okay. Alrighty. I think Layla should go next, and she should showcase those websites you just referenced.
Tell us a little bit about Layla
Okay.
before we bring her on this.
Layla is absolutely amazing with her website work. She has worked on just about she works on the NevadaHelpDesk.org website. You can see all of her fantastic work there. She has worked on the King's Weekly. I don't know the correct URLs, but she's worked on that website. She's worked on the Pain Specialist work site with Ian, and she's also worked on the community events website. And all of her work is very spectacular. And when we were showcasing websites way before we started actually like professionally making the websites and everything, she her website, she made like I think it was a restaurant design website as like just a template. And I gotta say, it was really amazing how like organized and effective and just like straight to the point it was, while also being like aesthetically pleasing.
Alrighty, that was a great introduction. Our students are encouraged to actually encourage and speak kind words to each other and really build each other up. So oftentimes, especially teenage groups, you know, sometimes in different groups will tear each other down, or, you know, somebody trip and fall, people laugh. Well, that's the opposite here in this environment. And so if you're wondering, well, why did I just put Cameron on the spot? Because our students are encouraged to continue to build each other up and to continue to encourage each other and give kudos. So without further ado, Layla. Woo woo.
Hi.
Hi,
Thank you very
Layla.
much, Cameron, for all these kind words. Hi. So I'll just introduce myself, and Cameron did a lot of the introduction, and it was like pretty accurate. So I'll just add some things to that. So my name is Layla, and I'm a senior at Kroll Academy of Science, Las Vegas, and I'm certified in HTML5 and CSS, and I'll be working on my JavaScript certification next. I'm interested in art and design, so I currently do website design for Nevada Help Desk, and I'll showcase some of the work now, and I'll share my screen. Okay, so I'll start with the first website that Cameron mentioned and Dylan talked about. So that's NevadaCommunityEvents.com. So first off, as you can see, this logo was designed by Dylan, and a lot of the websites that we work on are always like a collaboration. Like all the wording in this website is done by another member, Leticia. So we always work together whenever we get projects. So this website is a website where everyone in Nevada can submit events and share what they're doing so that other people can attend them. So our motto here is all events in one stop. And then as we go down, we kind of explain how easy it is to use. And then we put some images of events that happen around the community. And then we kind of just express the fields that we can find events in. We have sports, art, technology, fun, and all these images are taken from the different chambers that we collaborate with, the Asian Chamber, the Latin Chamber, the US Chamber of Commerce, etc. And then as we go down, we see more fields: finance, health, family, business, community, education, politics, and religion. And then we kind of explain how to submit events in case it's confusing for some users. And then at the bottom, we have some highlights. And these are all images from around the community. You can see Duana here and Cameron. And this is us at Zappos. And then I'll just show the plugin that we added to put a form into this website. So in the form, you just add a title. You can choose a category for the event. You just add dates, phone numbers. If it's online, you can even add a link that people can join your event on. So yes, this is all about Nevada community events, and I'll just show a little bit from our .org website. So the .org, NevadaHelpDesk.org, is for the students, and then the .com is for businesses. So here in the .org, you can find everything that we've talked about. For example, the radio shows are turned into podcasts, and I add them here. The Tech Teen Minute features are articles that Leticia writes about each of the agents. That means us. And then we have the weekly newsletters. And then as we go down, we have our promotional video. And Cameron had mentioned that we were certified in FBI. And here you can see this was taken during our graduation ceremony. And then we see more about us. Here we have links to all the places that we were featured in. Miel, one of our friends, was actually in channel, was it 3 or 5? I always mix them up, but in a news channel. And then we have some more magazines that we were featured in. And then I'll show you the pages that I was talking about that the students worked on. We have our podcasts. We have our minute features, and then we have our newsletter. And let me just show one of these newsletters. As you can see, Leticia just explains what our mission is, what we've been doing, just keeps everyone up to date. And then we have the student agents page where we all kind of explain our interests and what we do at Nevada Help Desk. So for example, some of our friends weren't here today at the live stream, but you can always learn more about them through our website. And then lastly, we have our Royal Tech team where we display our certifications. And as you can see all the certificates that we've been talking about. And that's it from me.
Did you show King Las Vegas?
Oh, sure. I forgot about that.
Since that's next month, statewide. While she's pulling that up, I have to add the MGM, Caesars Entertainment, and Cox Communication, and several TV channels are sponsoring next month's, well, the 2 events. We have the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Parade, the 39th annual, which this year or next year, is going to be all virtual for the first time ever. And all of our Nevada Help Desk students are doing all of the technology, multimedia, streamlined website, everything for that event. And it's going to be streamed on all the different television channels and all that. So all of the digital technology work will be done by all the students you see here, plus the ones that are missing. So Layla, who's the artist behind the website and the designer, she's going to show you what she's done with that website, which goes live next month. Countdown. Not to put any pressure.
Wow.
Not to put any pressure.
No pressure, right?
So this is the King Week Las Vegas website. I've initially worked on it last year, but now that the parade is coming up again, we have a lot work to do on it. And for the first time, we're going to have the parade in a virtual setting, and so you can see our flyer here. And I just put a counter for people to, kind of bump up the excitement, and they can see how many days there are left, how many hours. And then as we get the links for the live streams, we're going to add them here. So it's super easy for people to just click on the links and join us. And then as you go down, we have Trinity Stokes, the book, and we have some explanation about her. And then we have the 2020 Keeping the Dream Alive Scholarship. Oops, I forgot to change that to 2021, but good that I caught that. And then we have some videos from last parades that I've embedded. And then, of course, we have our sponsors here, and then some more videos. And at the end, we have a gallery with all the pictures from last year's event. And then this year, I've been working on kind of a timeline, which is not finalized, but it will be showing all the pictures and videos and media that was collected from the parades. So I've just worked on one of them as a template, and this is how it looks like. We have highlights, news, and media, and then we have some tweets from the community that I've embedded, and it's still a work in progress. We've not finalized it yet. And then there's one more page, which is the Annual Tech Summit, which links to our website. And then we have the media page and the gallery pages. So
Can I add? I was going to say, if you go to that Tech Summit page, because that's the second event, that's also for the first time, I have to say this, it's going to be virtual. And the reason I'm pausing to say that is for the first year, unfortunately, the late Tony Shea, who was always our guest speaker every year, and you see him there on the stage, this is the first year he won't be with us. And so it's going to be, really amazing. We, of course, will give tribute, but I just wanted to mention that because our students will also be managing this project as well, which is 3 days before the parade. And this is, you see here, all of the different sponsors, everyone that's involved with this. For all the years, it's been in person at Zappos. For the late Tony Shea, may he rest in peace, and for all of the work that he has done and given to this group as well. One of, actually the first sponsor outside of Microsoft that have adopted this group. We, of course, are headquartered at Zappos. And so it's going to be a bittersweet moment, but at the same time, his legacy will definitely continue to live on, and we're going to continue to really just put into practice all of the core values and everything that we have learned from the years that he has sowed so much into all of these students. So I just had to take a moment there for a moment, especially seeing his picture there, and just, since this will be our first year without him, and just let you know that too will all be virtual this year due to COVID. So anyway, thank you, Layla. Didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to interject that moment here.
No problem. I just had two more things to show. So we have the media page here, which is just news that were put on from last year. And you can just read them and you click read more. And then we have the gallery page where all the images are present. As you can see, we have Governor Sisolak here. And yeah, that's all that I have to show for the websites.
That's all I have to say right now. I'm just, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, you said you're 16 years old?
No, 17.
17. I'm so sorry. It's just still 17. That is, I could show this to our Verizon Media team, and I know they would have the exact same reaction I'm having right now watching all this. But I not just what you've all created, because I know it's a collaborative effort. One person creates a logo, another person takes care of the content, another person may take care of what's written, when the design, and it is a collaborative effort. But just knowing that who's the collaboration, who's doing the collaboration, the team, the age, the knowledge you all have. I think anybody on our Verizon Media team, and they create the content for Verizon, our web pages, they're the people behind all that. And they also tied with our Yahoo. They'd be blown away. They would just be like, I'm sending this link to my contact there and saying, you have got to watch this, because, and I want to see, if you have a future guest, I want to see if I can get somebody from our Verizon Media to see what you've all done, because this is incredible. The city, for that event in January for Martin Luther King, they have it in your hands. They're trusting this in your hands, and you are delivering.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
And again, I'm sorry. I'm picturing my emoji that you can create, and my head's like exploding, because this is just really incredible. And not only incredible content, but everyone, how you deliver, your stuff. You can jump, and you're conveying this, and you could hold your own against some of the most tenured people who do this for a living without skipping a beat. I hope everybody watching this is recognizing that.
Thank you very much for your kind words. But as Joanna said, it was, like I've never worked before, and it's all like she was telling us, get your HTML certification and like improve your skills, and that's like thanks to Joanna that we're here today. So I'd like to thank her.
She is one of the most amazing people on this planet that I've met. And seeing what she's helped to create with all of you is incredible. You are her legacy.
All right, don't make me cry. And these students know I will.
I'm there with you. I mean, we hit it off the moment we met, and we've never physically met yet.
I know. They've seen the ugly cry, so don't make me do the ugly cry. Don't make me go there. But no, I'm so proud of these two, and I'm really not looking to be petted. These students are so, and I thank you for those kind words. These students are, you said it, my legacy, and they are so. I want them to go way farther and greater than what I will. And I know they will. Yes, they. And I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud. Let me go back on mute. Let me just go back on mute. Cameron. Let me turn it back over to Cameron.
Alrighty. So I guess it's do you have any final words, Layla?
I just want to thank our guest for being here and listening to me. Thank you.
Alrighty.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely outstanding work, Layla. Keep up the great work. I guess we're on to our definitely not least, but last person, our last and finale person, Ian. Ian is also a website dev person. He completely blew us away with his work. I gotta say, he kind of just lurked in the back, was like, this is my time to shine. And when he shined, like it was as bright as the sun. He is fantastic. Ian's work on the pain specialist website, it is some of the best work we've seen.
Thank you, Cameron. So as you've all heard, my name is Ian Wakayu. I'm a college freshman at UNLV, and I'm currently majoring in computer science. I currently hold a certificate of skill attainment in computer science, as well as a CSS certification and an HTML5 certification. I currently aspire to work in the field of data science, and here at Nevada Help Desk, I'm on the web design team. So I'll showcase a site for the Pain Specialist of Nevada, right there. Great. So the homepage is an overview of how the specialists identify a condition and pick a treatment. Not to mention, it holds their goals throughout the process. Then here's a footer, which was worked on by another student, Layla, as you previously heard. The About Us page is a deep dive on how a condition is picked, because it starts at the first visit and continues on to any treatments or operations, including long-term care. Our providers page is another deep dive into some of the pain specialists, including their background, their education, and their accolades. On to the Your Procedure page, which is informative regarding how an operation will go the day of the procedure. It starts from even before the patient walks in to their post-discharge. And then the procedure information page gives information, it details every single procedure the pain specialists offer. Fun fact is that there's over 20 plus procedures that they have. And last but not least is the resources page, which was done by Layla as well. And it clues you into some additional details on pain procedures, some pain relief organizations, pain technologies, and categorized syndromes. And that's what I do here at Nevada Help Desk.
You're muted.
Oh.
I just realized.
Wait, no, not you. Ian.
I was muted. I was muted. I was like, I'm talking. And then I was like, wait a second, I'm muted. But just the way the flow of that site is just so well laid out. I was wondering, like under the resources page, how it had the content, the definition of what each link did. Is that something that you all wrote up, or did they provide that to you? Do you recall?
It was the client provided it. It was a recasting the information to the news site.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Because I was reading the write-up of everything, and I was like, wow. But just the whole layout, the flow from link to link. I go on websites a lot, and I'm researching organizations. I'm researching people and things, and the harder it is to flow, the harder it is to find. Like I spent probably 20 minutes just trying to find the address for an organization, and I was going through every person, and their site wasn't working well, and I'm like, I was getting frustrated. The way you have this laid out is just really well done. I'm sure they're pleased. Yeah.
Because with a website like this, it's really an opportunity to really change up how things are placed, or just how the design is, in order to make it stand out.
Mm-hmm. Are there some best practices from designing this that are takeaways that you're going to utilize in the next one, or things that you learned as you were going through the process?
Yeah, several. keeping it consistent. Like for example, the header and the footer, as well as I guess when you don't have many when I don't have too many, say, boxes or images like this, which is what I did on this page, which is what Layla actually worked on this page as well, to sort of it pop, try and do something that makes it pop.
Yeah. Very well done. Very impressive. Thank you so much for sharing this.
No problem.
All righty. Fantastic work, Ian. That is outstanding. So now we are leading into the interview portion of this, where we get to ask you questions and everything. So I'll start off with reading your LinkedIn about section. So okay, give me a second here.
And I could probably use some of your help with that too.
All righty. So it reads, experienced professional with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industry, skilled in the community relations, executive sales, account management, and wireless technologies. I am passionate about Verizon and how we are creating the networks that move the world forward.
Yep. You know, it's hard because there's so much. When I've been in a career as long as I have in the wireless industry, you know, I still remember when the word went from cellular to wireless for the first time, and thinking, you know, wait, no, we're cellular phones. People won't know what a wireless is. I remember having this conversation. So when you have a vast experience like that, it's hard to just put it into something concise, because there's just so much that can be said. Yeah. So how was my LinkedIn?
I think it was good. It was concise and very efficient. I understood exactly what you've done, and it made sense.
Awesome.
It's very formal too. I liked it.
Yeah, I read some on LinkedIn, and they're informal, and I love those because they tell, you know, they'll say some funny things, and those actually stand out to me. And I'm like, I need to change mine up a little bit and make it a little more personal, maybe.
Definitely. Yeah, that little personal touch always makes it just like goes that extra mile and just kind of stands out.
Yeah. And, you know, but still at the same time, be who you are.
Definitely.
Yeah, so very cool. Got me nervous there when you were like, okay.
It's good to see that we all still get nervous every once in a while.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
I'm going to interject because we want all of our students to come on camera so they can be prepared to ask questions. So note in the chat, but I don't know if everyone saw that. So I want to make sure that all of our students who can hear my voice are back on camera and ready to participate in this portion. Thank you. Cameron, back to you.
All righty. I'd like to start this off, the first question, with a little bit better. I'd like to ask, can you give a deep, simple but deep dive into your position as the Director of Government and Community Affairs?
Yeah, so it's actually a new position that Verizon created when I came on. So I've been with Verizon for 19 years, and it was all in sales. And a year ago, I saw this posting. So it's a fairly new, new position within Verizon, where the goal is to help us embed Verizon into the community. It's, Verizon is very well known. We support organizations globally, locally, nationally, but we recognize that a lot of the communities just don't have the relationship with us that we know they should, and that we should. So my position is to help embed Verizon into the community. I also work with our network team in helping with our 5G build outs. And so with the government officials and, Like I have to, text my boss. My boss has been texting me while we're talking, because there's something going on in Salt Lake City. And he just wants to have a call with me to find out what's happening with that, with the permitting process. So, I help with the permitting. I help with our network teams making sure that Verizon gets to the end goal when it comes to our build out and support in that way. And then, we also work with the foundation side. So I get to meet wonderful organizations like yours and get to know you all better and see how Verizon can support you in just different ways, like doing something like this and talking to you all. So there's 3 parts to what I do.
Fantastic. Thank you. That clicks in my head a lot better. So yeah, now that so with the government side, so you're like working with getting like the permits and all like the acceptable regulatory stuff to make sure that it works fine with like the regulations that the government has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Have you worked with the government to like create any regulations?
Not me personally. I know that our public policy team, they do get a little bit more involved when it comes to the legal side of things and working with government officials in creating, not necessarily creating regulation, I don't believe, but more so just providing insight from
Right.
Verizon. Yeah. Like we're working with one certain city and they just wanted our feedback on a policy and, ideas of how that how the policy should take some things into consideration when it comes to network build out in the telecom industry. And then that way, when they're putting something together, they're taking everything, the big picture into consideration so that they don't have to rewrite that policy.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of work to, change something after the fact.
Yeah, it definitely helps to get it done correctly the first way.
Yeah. Yep. Great question.
I'll leave the mic to everyone else if anyone else has questions.
I had a question. So I was wondering, considering the positions you've taken on keep on growing in responsibility, I'd like to know, was this your goal from the beginning, or did these opportunities seem to just flow to you?
So my career pathing and moving into this position is very, very unique for somebody coming into government affairs. Usually you're not coming from a background with sales. You're usually coming from a public policy side. A lot of our team is made up of lawyers, people who have worked in lobbyist positions, have worked with, just different community organizations, government. One of my coworkers worked for the Obama administration. And so it's very unique to have somebody come from an entire career in the sales field and move into this position. This was not the career path I foresaw myself coming to. And I didn't know if it would be a good fit because I don't understand, the government as much as my other colleagues do. But as I was going through my career, I kept hearing a lot of people telling me, you are a relationship builder. I was very successful in sales. I went up to the highest sales position in Verizon. There was no other sales position above that in the field that I was in. And, there really wasn't any other way to go. But I was working with tribes, with tribal nations. And tribal nations deal a lot with government and with network. And so I was able to utilize skill sets that aren't part of the sales position. And without me realizing, I was actually doing exactly what this job needs me to do. And so when I interviewed with our VP, he saw, they always tell me, you had so much passion about what you did with tribes, which was really what you're going to need to do in this position. And even though you don't have the background, you don't know any congressional people, you don't know any city council people, you have the ability to still work with them if you had to and meet them because of your sales background. You know how to navigate through that persistent side to get to somebody. But at the same time, you have the passion and the care of working with communities. And that is something that resonated with them. So I ended up being a good fit for this position, even though it wasn't something I ever thought I'd be doing. And I found my happy place. I found where I was supposed to end up with at Verizon. And who knows, 10 years from now or 5 years from now, something else may open up that could be a good fit as well, based on the skill sets that I learned from this position.
That's wonderful.
Question. Yeah.
I have a question too, actually.
Sure.
So, how has your job changed with the rollout of technology, such as like 5G and even phones advancing a generation every year? How's that changed your job?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so keep in mind, I started in the wireless industry, AKA cellular phones, when there were big phones only installed in cars in 1991. So technology advancement it's just been amazing to see how it's changed. I mentioned earlier how I remember just the name cellular changing to wireless changed how people saw where technology could go. Because even those of us in the industry, we were like cellular, right? And wireless, we didn't know what it meant. And when somebody said one day, and this is back in the mid 80s, I mean, the mid 90s, when somebody said what wireless will do is one day your phone, which were, pretty big phones back then, will connect to the internet. And internet was still on dial-up back then practically. And I was on Maui at the time. And they said, your phone will be able to know that you're near your office and you can control your lights. You can turn on the coffee pot. And we were all just like, excuse me? So technology has always been advancing. It's just based on where your mindset is at that time. I remember when text messaging started. And we were like, nobody is going to want to text message when you can just pick up the phone. Because who in the world can get an entire conversation in 110 characters, which is how many characters it was allowed back then. When caller ID came out, we were like, why would anybody need to know who's calling you? We have the phone book memorized. We all knew the phone numbers. We didn't need, you could tell me a customer's name and I'll tell you what their mobile number was. So just those, if you think about it, just those little tiny changes of being able to see, it revolutionized and just changed the way everybody does everything. So now you move, and I remember when we went from analog to digital and then to 4G. And again, it changed everything. It changed how we had to, I was in sales at the time, how we had to keep up with technology so that we could, tell people about it. Back then, we had, a phone was being created every 5 years, a new phone was coming out. Then all this, then it came down to every 12 months, 2 years and every year. And then it came down to like every 6 months practically. And that was hard. That was hard trying to keep up with all the phones coming out. Going to 5G, I don't think people truly, those who aren't following it completely, I don't think they truly understand where it's taking everything to. It's taking everything to the next level. It's making where you have to plug in to have the bandwidth that you need for something. You can now do it from your phone, and you can play all the video games you want from your phone. You don't have to wait till you go home to go turn on your your computer and plug in to be able to play Fortnite or something. You can do it on the go because it has the bandwidth. That's what 5G does. It allows a doctor to be able to, from their phone or from remote area, be able to go in and see what's going on and do an operation in, wherever they might be. That can't happen. It allows for autonomous, driving to become a reality, which will improve safety for, we expect that, they say that there's a trickle effect whenever something comes out. And some of the trickle effects of 5G is less people dying from car accidents. Just some of those things that you just don't think about. So trying to keep up with it is very hard. Verizon is launching all day long. I mean, every day there's something launching. We can't even keep up with it on what's going on because there's just so much happening. But and that's probably one of the hardest things. And I know this is becoming a long answer because it's such a great question. But in my industry, when I was in sales, one thing that I realized is we went from just being able to sell, just a couple concepts to now selling, having to know the Internet of Things and all things. And some of the best salespeople, I think, if you wanted to stay relevant in sales and really be at the best, you had to understand technology. And I saw a lot of my coworkers who just didn't want to embrace it, just didn't want to take the time to understand what a water meter would do, because they're like, what does that have to do with me? I'm selling government sales. Why do I have to know about water meters and panic buttons and electric meters and smart grids and smart cities? And we had to. And so even some of the best sales reps in the industry, if they did not embrace technology and understand it and be able to speak to it, even at the 30,000 foot level, they didn't have to get all into the weeds of explaining all the back ends, but they had to understand it enough. They couldn't do that. They couldn't stay. They couldn't stay relevant in this career. You know how in the movie industry, they call it the triple threat. You're an actor, you're a singer, you're whatever else the other part is, I can't remember, but a triple threat. In Verizon, for me personally, I think those who understand IT and have your knowledge and are able to convey it in relatable ways, where you're not getting too technical, but you can explain it to a CIO of an MGM and down to, somebody in a small business of 10 people to their IT person, and still make it understandable. You are the triple threat in this industry. You are what companies are seeking when you can have that knowledge and convey it in whatever audience you have. And I don't care what side of the business you're on, whether you're in sales, whether you're in government affairs like myself, those of us who know what we're doing and can convey it effectively will do well. But in any technical field, if you have the knowledge and the ability to convey it, you're going to just, and you're able to do it like what I've witnessed today. And I'm not just throwing kudos at you to be kind. You should see, I took a lot of notes, and I was doing that because I wanted to see, okay, could you stand up next to a colleague of mine and hold your own? Because the real world is a tough one, and you all have it. You all do. You've got the IT skill sets, and every single one of you were able to convey it well and what you were doing. Very, very impressive. And you could do it to any level. I'm sure if you had the CIO of Verizon sitting in front of you, you'd hold your own. Yeah.
I'd definitely be very nervous.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys.
I thought you had a really interesting answer, though, because it's kind of interesting how when I was growing up, all of those things were just common with my generation. And then there's going to be a new rollout of new items and stuff like that. And it's all new to me, like autonomous driving and stuff like that. But maybe in the future, it'll be common
it had
for
to
the
start
next generation.
Somewhere. So there's the people that were there when it happened and are like, and we all had to figure out how we would embrace it. I grew up, I don't know, are any of you familiar with American Samoa? Samoans, Dwayne Johnson Rock.
Yeah.
Well, I was raised in American Samoa. It's a small, tiny little island in the South Pacific, just south of the equator. And, I'll never forget when we had live television for the first time. And technology, because before then, this was 1989, and before then, all our television, we had 3 channels, and TV, it was sent to us on videotape. The news was always 2 weeks behind because it's a 5-hour flight from Hawaii to American Samoa. And so everything was 2 weeks behind. And when we had live television, our first live television was CNN. That was it. We watched CNN 24/7 because it was the only live thing we could get that was current. That changed the conversation in American Samoa. Just that one thing alone changed from us talking about only what was happening on our tiny little 52 square mile island to now talking about events that were happening globally. And our knowledge went from this to this. Just that one little thing. And now, they have, like Dish TV, and of course we have wireless phones down there and the internet, but it started somewhere. And those of us who experienced it, it was life-changing. Now we look back on it and we kind of laugh a little like, wow, we had CNN, for the first time, that was it. But you're right. Today we could be hearing about things that are concepts, ideas, Elon Musk, what he's creating, with his satellites and everything, and the ideas of visiting other planets. Today we're like, but who knows, 30 years from now, it's what they're used to. So technology starts somewhere, everywhere, at any point of time. A change in reality changes somewhere in a point of time. And those who are on the bandwagon with it, take that ride with it. It's really great questions.
So I also have a
Sure.
question, and my question is going to be more of like your opinion, and it's how long do you think it would take for 5G to be fully rolled out throughout most of the nation, and what do you think 5G will bring the greatest impact in, like one specific field 5G will bring the greatest impact in?
I think that 5G, I try to think about 4G, and 4G is still being built out in different parts of the country. And when did it launch? I can't remember when. I'm trying to remember, but at least 10 years ago.
It's been a while.
It's been a bit. But in the scheme of things, it really has been pretty short. 5G, I think, will still be rolling out for a while. Verizon is taking a unique approach of the ultra wideband. And so there's different types of 5G. And the ultra wideband build out is a little bit more time consuming because you're building it from the ground up, and it's very concentrated. And you're bringing the mobile edge computing right to the edge of that network. It's very different, the MEC. So, and then there's the mid-band 5G. So there's different components of 5G where it makes sense to have it. I think it's where things are going to be going for a while. I don't know I've heard of even 6G. I've heard it actually brought up, but I think that's way down the road. 5G is going to impact everything, but I think where I hope it's going to make the biggest difference in revolutionizing things is in the medical field and public safety, but more so in the medical field. How we're able to help, because of the use of 5G and being able to have doctors be able to do things more easily, more accessibly for people, especially in the rural areas. That I think is going to be the most impactful and helpful for those of just down to the community level at the very least. Great question. Anyone else?
I thought of one while you talked about that you had your history in sales and everything. And what is like one of the best tips you could give for like just a general selling of something, if it's an item or yourself or something?
One is need to know your product. Don't, sometimes you hear fake it till you make it, but that only goes so far. You really need to know your stuff. So if you're going to share something and you're going to sell something, don't make up anything. have integrity about what you're selling to. People when they buy things, a lot of times they're buying it because they trust you. Sometimes it's because they really want the product, but if they can get that product from anybody, like a wireless phone, you can get it from anybody, really. There's carriers to choose from. You could go to a Best Buy to buy a Verizon phone. You could go to a Verizon retail store. You could go Costco to get it. There's all sorts of different places, and there's different carriers to choose from. But in the end, when people make decisions, a lot of times it's because you said something to them that they trust you. So in order to build that trust with somebody, and this encompasses anything, you have to know your stuff. You can't fake knowledge, really. And you need to be honest when you're selling something too. You need to be very honest, and people will see that, and that will stick with them, and they will continually want to do business with you because they trust you. They know you're not going to sell them fluff that really isn't good for them.
Right. Thank you.
Another great question. So I know we have a couple more minutes. Is there any other questions for me? Well, oh, I heard something.
I do have another one, actually. I was just want to make sure everyone else got their questions out. And I'd like to ask this one to everyone. And it's, what gets you out of your bed in the morning?
In my bio, I said that I'm very, I'm passionate about working for Verizon. This is so cliche sounding, but it really is true. The work that I do and get to do in this current capacity has an impact in our community, and it has an impact for Verizon. That gets me out of my bed every day, because I'm helping our company build our 5G, which is where the future is going. It's so important. And I get to work with nonprofit organizations, and there's a great need with the nonprofits. And I get to help our network team, and it gets me out of bed because I know I have a purpose and I have an impact, and I can correlate the two.
Right. I like that. Yeah, it's I can see how that fits into like my lifestyle and everything too, and how that is applicable.
Yeah. And if any of you, Dwana has my contact information, you guys can feel free to, any of you, anytime, ping me. And I would love to hear from you.
Fantastic.
We're definitely going to be in close contact. And of course, your family, you're part of our Nevada Help Desk family. So we definitely will keep you in contact with all of our students. And we're thankful from the bottom of all of our hearts for you taking time out. I know you're a busy professional and could have been doing so many other things today, but you chose to take time with our students. So for that, we say thank you. We give you an applause.
It's funny, on our calls we do, they're like, okay, everybody applause. And I'm like, pow, 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 pow. That's what I do. And they, I'm like, poo, poo. We're just shooting out fireworks of excitement. So thank you all. It was an honor to be able to talk with all of you. I'm just so impressed. I really, really am. Our future's in good hands.
All righty. And we want to say thank you to our let's say thank you to our Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube audience right now for hanging in there with us and for watching our students, continuing to support them, and to embrace our guests and learn so much. We hope that you learned something and you have a takeaway from today, to our audience and to our guests. Thank you once again. Signing off, Nevada Help Desk, NevadaHelpDesk.com. We can